His friend kind of shot her shot, and they ended up dating seriously. I thought, great, great. So, again, we're all in an apartment together and we do holidays and different things. We're all, single, not married, the definition of that. And she said, oh, let's cook for Easter. So I said, okay, great. I'll cook for Easter or whatever. And this woman, I bring the food down. And again, this is my friend. They're both my friends. And he was joking because, I mean, listen, my mac and cheese could get me a ring. I'm just gonna be honest about it. My mac and cheese is something special. But I had made like the mac and cheese, I think some cabbage or whatever, like some sides. And the all of the food was amazing. She was an amazing cook too. And so he said, "Oh my God, between you and her, I got the perfect wife." This girl took it so seriously, and literally in her mind started questioning whether I wanted this man. And it was ridiculous because if I wanted him, I could have shot my own shot. I didn't. He great person, great soul. But I had zero interest. But then I realized at that moment that I had to renegotiate those friendships. Now, I'm still friends with him. I am not friends with her anymore for different reasons, just totally different reasons. And they're not together either for similar reasons. But you see all the common denominator there. But the point was, I learned with that even when you're friends with both of them, you have to be careful because I didn't even say the joke, but I thought it was funny because I got it. I was like, oh yeah, here's a man literally being catered to on Easter by two women who cook really well that live in the building. It was an appropriate joke. Like, I got it. But she hyped up. If that's the kind of thing you like, 'cause I don't share my man. And I was like, whoa, 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 babe. Slow down. It's just Easter dinner. And, so you also got to be able to talk to your friend like, hey, who are you dating? What's her idea around you and female relationships?
Yeah.
And when is a good time for us all to have lunch or dinner or meet? Because if this is somebody important to you, and this is the key, this is how you know if somebody really your friend. If you start dating somebody and they have no interest in meeting that person, they're hoping they go away.
Yeah.
So I'm always with my male friends like, oh, when do I get to meet her? When do I get to meet her? And they like, no, Lynnette, because you gonna feel her vibe. You gonna tell me something about her. It's gonna be right. And then I'm gonna be mad. But for the most part, I end up meeting them anyway. And I present myself as a friend. So I think it's not so much about not being true to the friendship. It's about understanding the boundaries and from day one figuring out what that person's partner looks like, because it could be different for everybody. You can meet one girlfriend they're dating at one moment and she's like, oh my God, I love you, you're my bestie too. And you can meet another girl that's like, it's either her or me. And I don't know what we do in that situation. That's a good question. What do we do? If you are good friends or best friends with somebody and it's a genuine friendship, it's non-sexual, it's never been sexual, it's never been inappropriate, and your person that you really truly love is like, both of us can't live in your world. Men, what would y'all do? Or even us, what do you do in a situation like that where you really have to choose?
I'll tell you. If you're gonna be with somebody, all right, let me just put it like this. I have baby mamas. I'm friends with my baby mamas, both of them. Good friends, very good friends. So any relationship that I get into or whatever, that's brought up like the kids are brought up, like my mother or family. So it's automatically brought up. They're my friends. Nothing more, nothing less. If you can't deal with that, we can address it now.
I like that.
Later, say, hey, I didn't know about this, or I didn't know. No, I told you, even introduced you, however it go.
Yeah, but don't you think that at face value that sounds all cool and everything, but don't you think when the person starts to watch the chemistry between the two of you, they start thinking that there might be some sexual attraction, and then that is what creates the tension?
Well, again, they gotta know
you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that when someone just even with Lynnette saying, hey, them just a friend. It's kind of like the other person, they don't necessarily until they're around and see that chemistry, they might be thinking, oh man, they look like they might be, you know what I'm saying, doing something. Like if I turn my back, they might be in the closet back there, you know, getting it on, getting it down, like Leaky Boy says.
But again, is that insecurity or is that trust?
That could be insecurity, but I'm sorry.
Oh, so I was saying to you is that I think Clint brings up a really good point, that especially at this point of our lives, that you're gonna be with somebody who has been in a relationship, who has children, who has other people that are in their family, because your ex-wife, your ex-girlfriend, your baby mother, whatever it is a part of your family.
Right. So, I mean, not every ex is an enemy.
Right.
Not every ex is an enemy. Not every ex you talk to every single day. It might be once a month, once a year, whatever. But they're like family. So, you know, you bring that up. I mean, if it's really like that, you bring that to the forefront. You don't let that kind of slide in. Oh yeah, by the way. You know.
And you say what that friendship looks like too, right?
Right.
You know? So you say to somebody like, hey, you know, I see that me and you are going somewhere. Here are the people that are important in my life. Like for me, I was married and with someone for 10 years. I helped raise his daughter. That is my daughter. You cannot tell me different. She will not tell you different. Mm-hmm. My Cash App won't tell you different because she requests money from me every day. But that's my daughter. And no dating partner ever could negotiate that with me. She is welcome at my house anytime she wants to be at my house. I don't care who lives there. She is always able to call on me if she needs me. That is my daughter. I met her when she was a toddler. She's 16 years old now. Yeah. And when she has children, those will be my grandchildren, you know, as well as her parents. I don't even talk to my ex-husband anymore. We have a relationship outside of that. But if a person were to tell me, oh no, you ain't about to be friends with the ex, you know, family, that would just be a deal breaker for me because she's not negotiable. So I would look at any friend I value the same way. I would say, hey, these are the people that are important in my life. This person is my friend, has been my friend this amount of time. These are the things we do as friends. Do any of those things make you uncomfortable? If they were like, hey, I don't have a problem with you guys being friends and chit-chatting on the phone, but that whole Taco Tuesday thing you guys do, I'm not really feeling that, then guess what? My real friend is going to be like, babe, I get it. Or friend, I get it. You know, whatever y'all call each other, homie, whatever, sis, I get it. Or I could say, well, would you feel comfortable if you joined us on Taco Tuesday? Would you feel comfortable with that? Would you feel like a third wheel? You just never know who you're going to meet. But if there are certain things that have to change, right? So like I said, when my friend was not married, I would call him all times. If I had a problem, I'm calling him at midnight on FaceTime. Like, you need to, let me tell you what happened. He has a whole joke about me crying in his house and he didn't know what to do. So he was like, you want some neck bones?
That will help.
Over this guy, and he was like, "You want some neck bones?" And he brings me like a pot, like a bowl with neck bones and greens in it because he's a cook. It was hilarious.
That's gonna help. That's gonna help. Some food is gonna make you feel better.
It made me feel better. But you know what? I can't FaceTime him now just because I want to. Like, I'm texting like, "Hey, you busy?" Or if I FaceTime him, I'm like, where's your wife? Like, how? And I'm saying hi to her in the background. I'm saying hi to the kids. I'm asking her what's going on. Like, most people that are healthy, remember we talked about that earlier, healthy, they can recognize a line of respect. You know, and they can recognize when that person is being genuine and authentic. We have an internal system that can kind of pick out when somebody is trying to play in our face. So she knows, like, she really does care. And I cried at their wedding because I have been in those conversations. He's my friend. So I know how he had prayed for her, like a woman like her. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't want to be any part of messing that up. And then let's just take relationships out of it because this podcast is about, can they just be friends? We could be two single people and there are still boundaries of that friendship that, you know, like I said, it's not linear. So, you know, even though I'm not dating anybody and he's not dating anybody, maybe we're not going to lay in the bed together and push the envelope because guess what? We're still a man and a woman. And sometimes you're like, well, let's just see. Because all of us are adults. We've had that one moment where we're like, I vibe with this person on a friend level. Let's just kind of maybe.
Yeah.
And then you do that and then you realize, ooh, yeah, no. And now it's weird. So I think it's just like with any other friendship. With my girlfriends, everybody's not my hangout buddy. Everybody's not my confidant. I have different kind of friends. So I have friends that I travel with. I have friends I confide in. I have friends I do Taco Tuesday with. And then I have friends that we just like check on each other. Like, hey girl, I was just thinking about you. How you doing? And it really isn't, it doesn't get to be more than that. But I still consider them my friend. So, I don't think I definitely think men and women can be friends if you're two mature adults. But the problem comes when it's one person in a situation, and it's not just men. Actually, I think women do this more than men, even though, women gonna argue it. That they might come on our podcast like, that girl Lynnette was wrong.
Never that.
Women, when we like a guy, we will sit our little selves in that friend zone, being supportive through all his toxic girlfriends and breakups, hoping that he see that we were the one all along. We are good for doing things like that, and then showing up for them and doing all of these things, thinking, oh, that's my best friend. That was my wife all along. But guess what? This is not the movies. And so women, we have to be honest with ourselves too. Like, is that really my friend, or do I really like him and I just don't think I have a chance? And so I'm settling for this friendship because it at least keeps him in my space. And I work with my clients every day, and I will tell you 75% of my women clients are doing that right now. They are friends with men they absolutely want relationships with, and they sit with these men, and these men think they have a friend, and then they come and talk to me, and they're like, he didn't call me back, why not? And I'm like, because he's your friend and he doesn't have to. Like, so I think women struggle with that a lot, like not being honest about what that is.
What do you think about I think Wendy Williams used to say this: if somebody has seen your ecstasy face,
that's over. Ain't no more friendship after that.
Yes.
You need to see that. I need to see that.
But that is also the ex.
Especially Jenny J. Now you got me thinking about it.
The ex-wife.
I'm sorry.
The ex-girlfriend has seen their ecstasy face. And so
I'm gonna have a problem with that. With that.
So the concept is now they're best friends and they're talking, and he goes over there to see about his kids or talk about something. There is a concept that, hey, if it happened before, we are having a little problem,
So here's the thing. I think we have to be realistic. If you are friends with your ex, that tells me something about your character. That you all are able to put aside your differences, to co-parent, properly, and to do what's good for your children. And you should be able to be friends. And I'm just going to have to choose whether I trust you. And I'm just going to keep it real. If you're a person who knows you're jealous, then don't date somebody that got kids. Because guess what? Do you really want them falling out with their ex? Because that's toxic for the kids. Right. So, at the end of the day, I think in those situations, it's the burden of you to realize, like, can I deal with that? It's nothing wrong, but you can't. Everybody gets a choice. But you just got to be real with yourself. Like, you know what? I know I'm too jealous. He can't be over there fixing the fence for his ex-wife. I just don't feel that. Then don't date somebody with an ex-wife or baby, babies by other women that they're not with. Now, in terms of just ex, like I have exes that I am cool with. You heard me say cool with. And they may call me every 6 months. Like I have an ex-fiance from before my marriage. We didn't really fall out on horrible terms. It just, the timing wasn't right. The maturity wasn't right. There was a big gap in our age difference. He calls me like 3 to 4 times a year. And he like, I'm just checking on you. How's your mom? How's your sister? How's that? I wouldn't consider that my bestie, but what do you consider that?
What do you consider that?
I think he's I would consider him a friend, but I would consider him
he's
more
a friend.
acquaintance. Like, I don't feel like I would have to tell my partner about him. We are never, out of all the time, I have not seen this man in 15, no, yeah, almost 15 years. But he will call in and check, like just to see how I'm doing. I have the same number for 21 years. So he'll be like, hey, I'm just, here's what's going on. Or, hey, did you hear about such and such? And I'm like, oh man, I didn't hear about that. The
Really?
conversations literally last 15 minutes. He's
So
on about his way. So I wouldn't
so
have a
you don't
problem.
get any kind of eerie feeling about that at all. You're just like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. He don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think there's a chance that if y'all were together and you were like, you know what, I really need something right now. Can you, you know what I'm saying? Look out for a sister. You think he not gonna do that? You think he not gonna smash?
No, one, he's married, and he's not a cheater. And I
That's
know
not
that.
what I asked you.
No, I'm
That's not
saying
what I
I don't
asked you.
think he would do that because he's married. So if he was single, he would marry me probably, and I know that. So but he's a faithful person. He was faithful to me. Cheating was not why we broke up. He is a man of high integrity. So, but we were friends first. We were friends for like years first. And so when we broke up, we did take that time apart. We didn't talk the entire time I was married. And I'm just being honest. Like that entire time we were married, I think he's my Facebook friend, but we didn't like interact at all because that was just out of respect for my marriage. When he saw that I had gotten divorced, he called me and said, "Hey, I just want to make sure you're okay."
So that was
And
a
I was,
boundary you set up. I mean, I think that was a pretty
It
good boundary
sounded
that
like
you
a
set up.
mutual boundary, actually.
yeah,
Not even so much as a boundary she set, but a mutual boundary that they both understood with even having to say anything.
Now
but
that's
we
a
didn't
good
even. It was
friendship.
never a conversation. It
Right.
was just
It was
he
just
he saw I was getting
understanding.
married. He said, "Congratulations." And then I got married. We didn't talk. He saw that I gotten divorced. He was like, "Hey, are you moving back home?" I said, "No, I'm not ever coming back to Detroit." He was like, "Well, I just want you to know that you are a wonderful woman." And sometimes I need that. Sometimes I do call him like, "Hey, I got into it with this person. Me and you were together. We were together 7 years, no, 5 years." But friends too. So, pretty much he'd known me for 7 years. I'm like, can I run this past you? And I know you'll be honest with me. Like, what part did I play in that? Or when you were dating me, was that something that I did? And he honestly sometimes is a great help for me because he'd be like, Lynette, now you know I'm your friend, but you want some BS. You wrong. And I like that about him because it's a person that will tell him. He'd be flat out like, you wrong. You call that man and apologize. Or he'll say,
You know,
no, Lynette, don't be no fool. This person is playing you. So we have boundaries. So I wouldn't feel the need to really, unless like I was with my ex and he was like, who was that? But that's a red flag. If you were asking me everybody to call into my phone every 5 seconds, I would wonder like, why are you doing that? Because unless I said something inappropriate. But I'm talking about friends, like somebody that I would actually want to invite to the Christmas dinner, or somebody I would actually want to come around or say, hey, we're taking this couple's trip. Can I invite such and such and their girlfriend? Like somebody that would be an active part of our lives. I would hope that my partner or would want to meet them.
But you bring up an interesting point, though, Lynette. It was kind of like that's one of the things that opposite sex friendships bring to the table is that you can get inside information or information about yourself of how the other sex kind of perceives you. I got some information I'm gonna bring up here. I just want to share real quick because this is from a study that was done. This is done like 20 years ago, and what we're looking at, and for those on the podcast, I'll read through it so you know what we're talking about. But I got up a list of the most beneficial aspects of same-sex relationships, and these are the answers between men and women. The top 10 for men, most beneficial aspects of having a same sex. So this is like you and your boy hanging out together, right? The friend is respected by others is number 1. You can talk openly to them. Number 2, they're mate seeking partners. So you both are out there trying to find a mate. So you got something in common. That's number 3. Number 4, no long-term mate potential. You're not looking to date each other. Number 5 is networking. Number 6, self-esteem boost. You're kind of hanging out. You guys are boosting each other up. You know what I'm saying? I like your Jordans. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you got a nice haircut. You know, that type of thing right there. Number 7, information about the opposite sex. You both are sharing experiences about the opposite sex. Number 8, increased social status. Number 9, giving time to help the friend out. And number 10, a dinner companion. So those are the top 10 most beneficial aspects between men and men. For women to women, It's the opportunity to talk openly. Number one, the friend is respected by others. Number two, a great dinner companion. Number three, giving time to help out the friend. Number four, mate seeking partner is number five. Protection. Believe it or not, I guess girls, girl power in groups. That's gonna be number six.